Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Challenger Misfortune analysis. Today we are finally looking at Frilla's misfortune again. He told me that he did not want to be known as a one-trick and people, maybe calling him out on abusing a certain champion to make it to Challenger, so he played quite a lot of other champions, AD carries that is, in solo queue, and he's still Challenger, so he's definitely just a Challenger tier player and not abusing Misfortune, but he is on Misfortune again today, and he is proof that Lethality Misfortune is still extremely strong, because he still plays the same build he played at the end, or until the end of last season. It's his Emax Arcane Comet build. And I also play a slight variation of that every now and then. However, his rune setup is a little bit different. First of all, his stat bonuses are Adaptive Force, and Armor. So no attack speed here, because, he goes for lethality and he wants his Arcane Comet and his ulti to hurt as much as possible. And his runes are, Arcane Comet, Manaflow Band, Absolute Focus, and Gathering Storm, no surprise there. In his secondary path, though, he goes for Biscuit Delivery, so he gets some more mana in the lane phase and can just spam his E right away, which is nice, but, you can do without. It also works when you go for the Domination path and Cheap Shot and Ultimate Hunter. However, as I've said, he goes for Biscuit Delivery, and his final rune is Time Warp Tonic. He was very sad when Time Warp Tonic got its mini rework, but he still plays it, he still uses it, and first point in E, second point in Q, which is okay obviously, but I think W level 1 is still better, and then go Emax from there. E into Q makes a little bit more sense when you have more mana at your hand, because you can afford to actually spend it. So yeah, you already can see how this is working. Yikes. Is she dead? So close. Actually, I want to see this again. How did this happen? So Veigar gets caught by the Lux, right? Yeah. And Frilla immediately turns. Q auto, or auto Q rather, and the ignite from the Veigar just finishes her off. Yeah, that was convenient. So Frilla on his second corrupting stack already, but still has all his potions, or his biscuits rather, so that's fine. And his build is obviously for lethality, so typically he goes for triple lethality, so Ghostblade, Duskblade, Edge of Night. Ooh, spicy. Yeah, I really like the interactions between Misfortune's E and the Veigar skill shots, because the slow definitely greatly helps Veigar. Is it Veigar or Veigar? I'm never sure. I will use both, just whatever I feel like. So Veigar is skill shot reliant, obviously, and a 60% AoE slow, and E will be a 60% slow on level or on rank 5. Will definitely be a huge help for the Veigar. So yeah, build. He goes triple lethality. You see double longsword right now. And boots, tier 1 boots. He goes triple lethality most of the time, so Ghostblade, Duskblade, Edge of Night, and then he goes for another Serrated Dirk, which might look crazy, but it actually makes a lot of sense, because the more lethality you stack, the better it gets, because that's how math works. Or the other way around, the more armor you have, the less effective it is, which means the more armor reduction you get on the enemy, the more effective it is. So getting those extra points of lethality really makes a big difference, and with 3 other lethality items, the Serrated Dirk just sitting in your inventory is pretty much as powerful as a completed item, and that for only 1100 gold. It's really just that crazy. So actually this might also be a nice build path for this new Blade of the Ruined King thing, right? You go Blade of the Ruined King into triple lethality into Serrated Dirk. It might sound, or it might look goofy, but it's actually pretty good, I think. And you can still then sell your Serrated Dirk very late game to get a completed Lord Dominic's Regards or whatever. So definitely potential also for that build. However, it's obviously better with full lethality, because the earlier you get it, the better, since armor increases with level. Yeah, there you see it. The slow from the E makes the Veiga stun pretty much undodgeable. Either that or Jhin has to stay in the cage, which is also not in his interest, because then he is in Veiga Q range and W range. So now the gank is coming. They overstepped a little bit, but it's still 2v2, so I think they might be fine. Misfortune doesn't have heal though. Switching targets to the Jhin. Switching targets again. Ooh, nice flash. Very nice. Yeah, this was a 2v2 because the Lux wasn't there, so it was still manageable. And them running back allowed their minions to support them, which was very clever. Yeah, so bot lane looking strong right now. Looking very strong. As far as boots are concerned, I would guess Ninja Tabi are fine because of Jhin, Yasuo, Aurelia, right? They don't really have a magic damage dealer besides Lux. Also, you could make an argument for Swifties because... almost. Because it makes it easier to dodge the Sejuani ults, and even if you get caught in the slow field, you can run out of that slow faster. Due to your slow reduction on your boots. Yeah, so that's the plan. And all the mana has been spent. All the stacks have been used. So this looks like a good opportunity to go back. I'm not so sure where the Lux is, really. Let me check. Oh, okay, now she is walking. She's not walking towards bot lane, which is kind of odd. Leaving her Jhin alone there. But Jhin with Swifties now instead of any other items. So he rushed Swifties and no combat stats, but this is okay, I think, because Swifties are pretty good against Misfortune's E. As I've said, slow resistance. And yeah, Jhin probably noticed himself that the combination of Misfortune's E got him caught in the Veiga skill shots all the time. So he counteracts that and doesn't try to challenge them in lane. Lux is roaming anyway, so him playing it defensively and going for those tier 2 boots, probably a good idea. However, the Veiga reacts to the Lux and just leaves the bot lane 1v1. Yikes. Yeah, so definitely nice on the Veiga to mirror that play there. So they don't... because they cannot really catch the Jhin, especially not with Swifties, and then you're pretty much 2v1. Yeah, Jhin might lose a couple of minions under the tower, but Lux can get a lot of work done on the rest of the map, so Veiga mirroring that is actually pretty clever. Yeah, both components for Ghostblade are ready. And a control ward. Nice thinking. I'm really curious to see how Frilla deals with the Yasuo, to be honest, because I always ban Yasuo when I get 80 carry, which is like 95% of my games. And I always ban Yasuo because if he... especially when I play Lethality, it's not as bad when you play On Hit or Conqueror or Crit, because you can deal a lot of damage with your auto attacks still. But if Yasuo plays with his wind wall properly, you can never ult, like, ever. Because it can always wind wall your ult on reaction. Nice, good attempt. The upside of this build is obviously that you can set up your own plays with your E slow. E into R is very hard to dodge for immobile AD carries or immobile champions such as Jhin. Swifties help him, no doubt. Because he can run out of the E and the ult faster than you would expect. But still, he eats a lot of damage to that. And he has to kind of concede the lane. He didn't buy any attack damage, so he cannot even fight back properly. He kind of just has to accept the Misfortune's lane dominance. Well, that might be big. Healing early for the speed. Oh, that's bad. That's pretty bad. The early heal for the speed up, just to catch him with another auto a little bit sooner. I like it. Didn't work out though. Ah, indeed the Swifties. So even though they are full AD, Frilla, well, I don't count the Lux there. Frilla opts for Boots of Swiftness. He goes for them most of the time, so I think he's just most comfortable with them. But also against the Sejuani, they are a big deal. Nice, that's huge. Oof. Okay, 2v2 now. 3v2. They're both low, but they don't think they can dive. It's a little bit too early into the game for that. They still do it though. Okay, yeah, Jin and Yasuo both are not reacting, so there was very little risk to that. Yeah. Meanwhile, bot lane, Frilla just does his thing. E-maxing, right? 4 points into E at level 8, yeah. And 2 points in Q. Because on level 8 you obviously cannot put another point in your main ability. You can go to rank 5 at level 9 earliest. I don't like the sequencing there. He R'd when E was already over, which is a mistake in my opinion, but I guess it happens. It's already out of corrupting stacks, so he needs to be careful not to lose too much health there. Yikes. Ooh, yeah. It's pretty hard to catch. Ghostblade active, plus Boots of Swiftness. You're not going to hit skill shots on him anytime soon. And he still was in his strut too, so... So yeah. Yeah, you're not going to catch him if you place it correctly. Unless you, well, sync up your skill shots as Lux Engine perfectly and create a kind of checkmate situation, so you hit him at least once, and then you can go from there because he's slowed down. Not gonna happen though, and now he should probably recall. He's sitting on... Okay, 900 gold, that's not too big. 1100 would be nice, because that's another serrated Dirk, obviously. And as I've mentioned, the sooner you get your lethality, the better. Because early into the game, people have little armor, and if you can penetrate that little base armor, you are pretty much dealing true damage. Alright. Down goes the Aurelia. And I'm not too sure if this is Dragon. Jungler is still alive, and they don't have a control ward for the Dragon Pit, do they? Oh, Frilla does have a control ward. Okay, so they should probably be playing around bot lane a little bit more, but Lee Sin is sitting mid and now going top. Well, it is an Ocean Drake, and Ocean Drake pretty much wins you the lane phase for free because of all the free health and mana it provides. But lane phase is almost over, so... Still, I think I would prioritize the dragon. Well, to be fair, there's Rift Herald in the top side river, obviously, and if you can get Rift Herald when the lane phase ends, that's pretty big, because you can typically use a Rift Herald to crack open a tier 2 turret. And, well, tier 2s are obviously more difficult to take than tier 1s, right? Because they're easier to defend. Ooh, that's some damage, but it's okay. Jin will be F-sword now, yeah. Finally buying some attack damage. And, okay, Misfortune just did the Drift Scuttler, and she cannot defend against the Aurelia, I don't think. With a lethality build, you really need to watch yourself, because unlike with Bloodthirster or with any source of lifesteal and a little bit of emphasis on your auto attacks, you are pretty helpless as soon as somebody gets on top of you. Because you will lose all your movement speed and you cannot fight over extended periods of time. Because your damage is very much front-loaded with your love tap and your Q auto E combo, your Arcane Comet and your lethality. And afterwards you don't really have much else. You don't have the attack speed, you don't have lifesteal. You, yeah. You need to keep your distance, and the way you play this build is to just look for your opportunities to assassinate in team fights, pretty much. Because even you don't even need to hit your full duration with your ultimate. You can hit 3 waves and annihilate an entire team with that already. The Ocean Drake is also quite nice for this Misfortune build, because as I've said, she doesn't have any regeneration in her build besides, well, Corrupting Potion, and also she uses a lot of her mana, very ability focused. Well, obviously Frilla takes every mana rune he can get, Biscuit Delivery and Manaflow Band, both of them. But technically speaking, Presence of Mind is also a mana rune, but you cannot be in 3 rune paths, obviously. Yeah, he already takes as much mana as he possibly can in his runes, but still, if you are spamming your abilities over and over, having an Ocean Drake is very, very nice. Ooh, you missed the cannon minion, bro. I saw that.
Shut down. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Still nobody's going for that Rift Herald. They see 2, 3, and Jin was there. Oh no, Aurelia was there. Jin is top set, isn't he? Okay, yeah, but as long as they see those 3, it can be a 2v2 at worst. So as long as they keep some defensive abilities up, they shouldn't be at risk of dying. But now everyone goes missing, Jin returns and Lux is also there. Yeah, they ran away just in time. That's really the issue I personally encounter when I go for a quote-unquote split push like this, or when I push up very far. I look at the minimap and I see most of. Oof, okay, forcing out the Jin's heal, that's very nice. But I see most of them and I think, okay, there cannot be that many. At worst, it can be a 2v2 or something. And then I look back on my screen and micro my way towards the turret. And totally forget that over the course of the next 20 seconds, this could change entirely, and people could just start roaming towards bot lane and catch me. And this is where I get caught most of the time. So yeah, very nice, very good awareness coming from Frilla, avoiding that. He doesn't have ulti, so okay, at least he first saw the flash. Yeah, that's nice. It's definitely an advantage he got for almost free. Ghostblade active, but that's back up again after 40 seconds or something. 45 in total. Yeah, very high uptime on this item. Definitely higher uptime than Flash. So, very favorable trade there. We should be getting to the team fighting phase soon. And Red team definitely has the upper hand as far as map pressure is concerned, because this mid turret, it does a whole lot. The thing is, turrets are pretty much big wards who can attack you, and if this turret is still there, the enemy cannot really invade your jungle without you seeing them, and they cannot push the minion wave towards you, because the turret will bounce it back out, and minions are pretty much... they are also wards, right? They also provide vision wherever they go, and by having your minions in the enemy side of the map, it's pretty much like deep warding their lanes, and it allows you to out-rotate them so easily. So as long as you have this mid-turret, it's and the enemy doesn't, it pretty much opens the entire map for you. Gives you very nice rotations. Also this bot turret, not as important, but it's better than nothing. But mid-turret is really the big one. And Zillion... oh, okay, now he places Rift Herald? Or what? No, he's in combat, that's why it went on cooldown. Because you no longer can do it in combat, which is nice. Too many people died. Yeah, but he really should be... okay. Maybe I should have an eye on the Misfortune. I was talking about Rift Herald all the time, and on the minimap I now see that Misfortune is fighting against the Yasuo, and that is something I'm very curious about. Especially with all these minions. It cannot end well, can it? Okay, okay. Caught by surprise. Frilla just running. The important thing here was that... what? He doesn't have Wind Wall. Oh, okay, he does. Wow. It's just bursting him down with Q and Duskblade. Yeah, but the important part was, as soon as he saw the Yasuo, he didn't run that way, because that would have given the Yasuo the opportunity to dash through the minions and catch up to him. He immediately ran towards the jungle, as to stay away from his minion wave. Because, well, as a Misfortune, you generally don't want to fight a Yasuo, but you even less so want to fight a Yasuo in your minion wave, because that gives him pretty much infinite mobility. Cannot deal with that. There's also a dragon spawning soon. Which okay, another Ocean Drake. Yeah, it's still fine. Ooh. Oh, goodness. She's tanky, though. Veigar probably shouldn't have used his execute when she was full health and under the aftershock buff. Misfortune is so dead. Yeah. Even the Zilean ulti cannot save her. She was caught, and also being revived locks you in place, obviously. You cannot walk. You're just locked in place. Enemies surround you, then you die again. So in that situation, didn't really help him. Getting caught out in the enemy jungle. I mean, it happens. We've all been there, right? It definitely happens. Alright, but Frilla now with 2 completed items and another serrated Darks, looking very strong. I really hope we can see a nice teamfight deciding ult from him, but I kind of doubt it at the same time, since, as I've told you before, it's pretty much impossible to get off against an enemy Yasuo. He can always wind wall on reaction. It's not even like he must predict when you ult. No, as soon as you start channeling, he just presses his wind wall and you're gone. So I think we won't see any big teamfight plays, and I think that's also the reason why Frilla refuses to group. For the most part, he's just pushing side lanes. Yeah, there you just push past river and roam, I would guess. Yeah. See, he does not go even further. The minions are beyond river. Or past river, or whatever. Prepositions. And then he just immediately... Oh, okay. That's bad. That definitely hurts. Kind of risky play. We'll look at that. Almost. Almost. We look at that again real quick. So... the idea is definitely correct. You don't want to push past river. Or you don't want to go past river that they see you on their side of the map, but he's kind of following the Zilean, but right now, at this point, Zilean is not there to stun whatever or to check the bush. And Misfortune is now pretty much frontlining into the Fog of War with all of them missing. So that's pretty risky. He should have just... the correct play, macro-wise, would be, well, push past river, roam. That's the bread and butter. You push past river, and you roam to another lane, push past river there, roam to yet another lane, push past river, and kind of out-rotate the opponent that way. But if you have vision on them, you can push your vision even further by deep warding their jungle. But if you don't have vision on them, by deep warding their jungle, you just take the chance of them randomly being in one bush and collapsing on you. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. And again, same thing is true in this fight. He gets revived, but the enemies surround him in the meantime, and he just dies. Yeah. The push past river and roam gone wrong. Unlucky. Well, not unlucky, more like... yeah, it was unlucky, obviously, but it was a risk he didn't need to take. If that makes sense. Zilean dies too, and they immediately ping the Baron. Yeah, mid laner dead, and bot lane still dead, just respawning. I don't like the Baron call. They shouldn't do it from a blue team's perspective. Doesn't make any sense. They can prepare it, yes, but they shouldn't do it. The enemy jungler is still alive. That's super risky. Bot lane also respawning. And a Misfortune ult from over the wall is a big deal. And also, Lee Sin might as well randomly steal it, so this is a 50-50. I really hate these 50-50 calls. Yeah, there you go. That was so risky. It worked out for blue team in the end. Or did it? Frilla does not have ulti. Yeah, if Frilla had ulti in this position, blue team would have gotten completely wiped. Oh, this looks bad. Okay, going the wrong way. Well, they didn't have vision on the MF, to be fair. Oh, that was a crucial mistake. I mean, he does see the teleport. He sees it. This is red team's perspective. Definitely sees it, and so he knows there is a ward in here. And by walking towards the ward, He completely reveals himself to the Yasuo and he just immediately dies, yeah. That was such a bad play. I guess it happens. Maybe he looked somewhere else and didn't see the teleport and didn't know where the Yasuo came from. So he didn't see there was vision in here, but it was pretty obvious in my opinion. Okay, so this play in the end paid off for blue team. But again, it's a very risky play and they shouldn't have made it. It was so risky. They could have blown their entire lead with that. Lee Sin was very capable of stealing that Baron. It was pure luck that he didn't. It was a 50-50. And when you're ahead, when you have an advantage, you don't want to gamble with a 50-50, because if you have an advantage, you should have the edge. And by making it a 50-50 instead of well, a positive play for you, which you can force since you have the advantage, you are just giving the enemy the chance to come back into the game for free. So yeah, very bad Baron call, but it worked out in the end. That's kind of the risk or a problem with decision making. When a play like this works, you could be led to believe that, hey, it was the correct play because it worked, but no, it worked despite being incorrect. That's a big difference. It probably, well, it works 50% of the time, but you don't want to go for 50% plays if you are in the lead. 50% plays are great if you are behind, because they are a great opportunity to come back with a nice coin flip, but if you're ahead, it's such a bad idea. Why is... I don't understand what's going on right now. Why is everyone ignoring the lanes? So they group bot with Baron. Yeah, they are 5-manning bot. Okay. They're 5-manning bot, and they should be able to push rather quickly with Baron, that's true. But sacrificing 2 lanes for that? That's so dumb. Maybe they're trying to base race and win the thing on the spot. So they got the inhib. But might as well go all in here and try to take the base towers, right? Because you push definitely faster than those two, and it's pretty unlikely that you can prevent the double inhib at this point. Yeah. Yeah, there were a few issues with that play. First of all, I thought they were saying, okay, screw it, they have 2 people at our inhibitors, and they cannot fight us because we are 5 versus 3. We have Baron minions. No way they can clear this. So I thought they were just trying to go for the end, sacrificing those 2 inhibs because they won't matter when they finish the game, and just going down the bot lane. They had supers. They were 5 people, and just 3 team members from the red team to defend. So definitely could have tried to make the play here, but then after taking this inhib, they got scared and recalled, and they essentially traded 1 inhib for 2 inhibs, which is super dumb, but so be it. This is Challenger ELO, EU West server. The second most competitive server that there is. Challenger ELO. Mistakes happen all the time. Yeah, blue team just completely gave up their advantage. They had Baron buff after a very iffy Baron call. And then traded 1 inhib for 2. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. Oh, nice. Wait. Not so fast. Okay, they try to take the mid tower, and that obviously works because it's very low. And Baron minions. Yasuo is not nearby, so Misfortune can ulti, and Jhin loses 70% of his health already. Even though he ran out of it. But yeah, as soon as Baron buff expires, all red team needs to do is push down bot lane, and supers will do the rest in mid and top lane. And Baron buff should expire soon, shouldn't it? Let's check. Can we see that? Okay, Yasuo doesn't have Baron buff anyway. Go, Misfortune! Yeah, the clean one shot. Well, not a one shot because it was already low. Okay, there it is. Ghost Blade, Dust Blade, Edge of Night, and another Serrated Dirk. So this is the big power spike. Yeah, okay. After getting half health by the Aurelia, one auto attack just kills him. Obviously. That's really the thing. You need to play against Yasuo like this. If you just group and try to team fight, he can counter you for free with his Wind Wall. But if you just run around and try to catch people with your ulti and just auto the Yasuos, then you should be alright, I guess. I still don't like it though. I still prefer to ban Yasuo. But yeah, this is what I mean. Baron buff has expired. They have supers in mid and top lane, and now all they need to do is run it on bot lane. What was that? And Frilla sitting on quadruple lethality and a Zeal. I think Zeal goes into rapid fire cannon. I'm not a fan of this though. I would guess more attack damage is more beneficial. Maybe it's a matchup thing. He doesn't want to get too close, especially not against the Yasuo. And maybe getting rapid fire cannon for his 6th item. Yeah, his autos also deal a lot of damage because of love tap, because of lethality. And rapid fire cannon does increase your Q range because it's essentially a point and click auto attack, right? The game counts it as an auto. That cannot crit though. So yeah, with increased range on your Q, should be able to do a lot of poke damage. Yeah, but this is what I mean. This is all they got to do. By grouping... That's a spicy one. That's very spicy, especially in combination with the Zillion. It's a very low risk play. Yeah, but you see, blue team still has supers in bot lane, but it doesn't matter if you just siege bot lane S5, you insta-clear the wave anyway. Doesn't matter if there's a super minion or not. And blue team does not only have to deal with your push here. See that? In that situation they're trading heavily under the turret, trying to defend it, but at the same time the super minions from the other lanes are already pushing towards their base turrets, so this is a very, very tough spot for blue team. And they got into that position solely due to their poor macro play. Okay, I want to see that again. That was odd positioning, almost diving. Yeah, Misfortune taking a tower shot. So far so good. Yeah, flashing on the tower to finish off the Jhin. Yeah, was worth, definitely. Also kind of no way they could punish. Yeah, that's game. Yeah, the game pretty much boiled down to blue team not fully committing when they should. They really should have tried to end right then and there when they pushed with Baron through the bot lane. But by just by just completely discarding your decision and yeah, it's you cannot go all in like this and then just abort mission. It doesn't work like that. You then really need to push forward until you finish the game. But by retreating there, you trade 1 inhib for 2 inhibs, and then they got in this impossible situation. And also the Baron play was very iffy, but interestingly enough, we saw a game at a challenger level from a Misfortune player against a Yasuo. And I cannot play against Yasuo as Misfortune. I'm not able to do it, but maybe you just need to change your strategy a little bit. So what Frilla does, as you saw, is he avoids big team fights and really just goes for out rotations and tries to carry the game that way. Definitely an interesting take on the whole thing. But okay, to sum it up, lethality Misfortune is still strong even when played against the Yasuo. So Emax with Arcane Comet, definitely a challenger tier build, and you should play it if you are a fan of lethality Misfortune and if you want to play that in the current meta. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and also if you want to learn even more, there are videos on the screen right now that you can click, and also a subscribe button if you're new, so you don't miss out on tomorrow's episode. Alright, have a nice day and see you next time. Bye!